Of course, we got back to Lubbock, celebrated a little, was happy, made history. So, of course, we celebrated, and then, we watched the Duke Michigan State game, and we kind of had to focus in after we figured out who he was going to play.
And Davide, obviously your family was there. How was that moment kind of for you? Just talk through us with that moment after that big win, after a big performance from you.
Yeah, it was special, man. I always wanted my family to see me play, and especially my little brother because I love him so much, and I hope he's going to make the same thing I'm doing right now. So I really want him to watch me play so bad and try to live the moment that I'm living right now.
Norris, what's this experience been like for you from the past 5 years to where you are today, going to the Final Four on Saturday?
It's just perseverance, man. Putting in the hard work every single day, the daily grind. You got to really love it. It's just paying off, just to say the least. The grind, through injuries, through coaching changes, through different players, just the mindset of the tough mentality. You just got to bring yourself and get better every single day. Don't worry about outside voices, outside things. Believe in yourself. Keep your loved ones close. And just grind and just thank God for his many blessings, and we're thankful to be here.
Jarrett, you talked about watching the Duke-Michigan State game. What was your takeaway from just watching the game, what you saw from Michigan State?
Two big-time teams with a lot of talent, big players, good guards. So Michigan State, they got a great team, and we know it's not going to be easy. It's the Final Four, so we know we're going to have to go out there, compete, and play some of our best games.
Davide, the free throws down the stretch, other guys struggled with them. Is this something that you've been practicing in your mind, going, okay, this is for the Final Four, or this is for the championship of the world, as you've been growing up and playing basketball all your life?
No, I didn't think about like if I miss and we're not going to the Final Four. I was just thinking about my routine and just I was confident because I put the right time and the right work in. So I was just thinking about my routine and try to knock those shots down.
How many free throws do you make a day, or try to make a day?
At least 100.
Jarrett, just wanted to. How does your family keep you grounded through this whole process, the support from them and all that?
My family means everything to me. I grew up with my family. I'm a family guy, so they made me the person I am today. I wouldn't be here without them. So taught me how to be humble, keep God first, and just put in the work and you can be successful. So my family's always had my back.
And did your brothers help you prepare for obviously this basketball wise? Did they help you when you were younger? You used to play with them a lot, in the driveway and whatnot?
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't always the biggest one out of my brothers, so I grew up having to compete, play with bigger guys and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I got my work ethic. I knew I was gonna have to work harder to be able to compete with them. So that just carried me a long way in my life today, just working hard and being able to compete with other guys.
Did you get a majority of the wins against them when you were younger? Was it kind of split?
When I was younger, not really.
No. And you said you watched the Duke-Michigan State game. Having played against Michigan already in the tournament, kind of getting a feel for Big Ten basketball, would you say that previous matchup is going to be able to help you guys out going into this one?
It's for sure a good experience, but I feel like Michigan State's a completely different team. They're unique in their own way, so I know they have a lot of pieces to their team that Michigan didn't, and Michigan had the same that Michigan State didn't. So, it's a different team, but we know we're going to have to go out there and compete to the best of our abilities.
Anything else specific about them that stands out to you that could be a problem for you guys matchup-wise?
We know they got a great coach. They're very tough, and we know, it's going to be a tough game. We're going to have to be tough and compete. We know they got a great guard and a couple great guards, and they're big in offensive rebounds. So that's just going into it, what we already know, and coaching them going to get us prepared for everything else.
This is for all y'all. You can start with Jared and then just go over to Norrance. What was reception like from your eyes? It almost seemed like the Beatles were coming back or something like that.
Yeah, it's something you always dream of, just always coming back, having success, and then everybody being proud. So, Lubbock, they came out supporting. It was a lot of love, so, it was amazing to have that.
Yeah, it was a dream. Like Jared said, it was just a dream come true. I didn't know. I didn't even remember the first thing that I did. I just started running and just tried to find people to hug, and it was an amazing feeling.
No, it was crazy. I remember I was right behind Jared coming out of the bus, and I was just telling Jared, move, like keep moving, and he wouldn't move. But I'm just saying, like I kept seeing more and more people as I kept walking out, and I was like, all right, there's no moving. So it was crazy. We thank the fans for coming out at like 2:30. And it's something you dream about, like they said. It's a blessing, and we just take it as it comes, and we're happy. So.
Norris, you've been through about every experience you can have on the basketball court. I haven't been here now your fifth year. Is it easy to kind of put the nerves away when you're on a stage like y'all are going to be at the Final Four?
For me, yes, definitely. But for other players, might not be. That's why we own on our leadership, senior leadership, and guys up here that's won games before that were at the stage last year to kind of help us. Obviously, none of us has really experienced the Final Four. It's a different stage, but it's just the process, the day-to-day. We don't really get caught up in the outside stuff, good or bad. So just locking in on our game plan process, and we're just taking it day by day. So.
Coach Beard has talked a lot about wanting the seniors from last year's group to be part of this celebration this year. Can you just speak to how cool it was to have Zach here when you guys?
Yeah, it was cool. Like we came in from the celebration. Obviously, people here at 2:30 for us. We went to the film room like we always do. Coach did his little talk that he talked about some keys, talked about how proud he was. And at the end of it, he just looked back, and Zach is sitting in the back. We're like, "What the heck? Zach is here!" And so that was crazy. That was cool. It was just fun to see like a piece of last year here for us, and our moment this year, knowing that they helped us get here as well. So it's definitely a blessing, and I'm thankful for those guys.
This for, I guess, everybody. Coach Dora always seems like as soon as he gets to his phone, he always tweets out, keep your chip, or posts it somewhere on social media. I mean, you guys have had that chip all year long. People didn't believe in you all the way, but now you're one of the last four teams playing. And some people are even picking you guys to win a national title. How do you keep your chip when you're one of the four teams left? Is it possible to do that?
Yeah, it's possible because we put the right time in and we put the right work. Like, we're not supposed to be here, like Coach said, and we just happy that we prove everybody wrong. We just we work as a family every single day, and we work hard every single day, and I can't say that enough. And we're here, we're back, and I know yesterday was a day off, but a lot of people got their shots up, and it's just like a process that we never stop, and we just keep going, keep grinding, and that's our program, that's our culture.
Just like Davide said, just the chip, the underdog mentality, the grinding, the process, the blood, sweat, and tears that got us here. We can't just forget about that, everything that got us here, to win the 12, all that, just because the moment and the stage is brighter. Yeah, like the stage changes, but the people on the stage are never going to change. They're never going to change their mentality. They're never going to change how hard they are, how tough they are, how connected they are. And it's just going to be a day-by-day thing. It'll definitely be different, obviously, on the national stage, the Final Four, something you dream about. But just sticking to those keys, just toughness, grinding, togetherness, family, knowing where you come from, the underdog mentality. You can't ever lose that whenever you think about that, and you put yourself through that process every day. So,
for the guards, I know you guys said you watched the game yesterday. I saw some stat, I think Cassius Winston was responsible for like 65% of their points in the game. I know it's about the whole team, but how much do you guys key on a guy like that and try to take him out of his game?
Great players. He's doing great things. So, I mean, he's one of their best players, and, I mean, he's producing. I didn't see that stat, but, I mean, that's amazing. I feel like we're going to stay true to ourselves, though. We're going to still try to play our defense. I'm sure the coaches will have us ready and adjustments and stuff on a great player like that. So, I mean, I think we'll be ready for it. But, I mean, what he's doing what great players do.
Anything else for you real quick?
today?
No,
What do you
you like to make 100 free throws.
Yeah.
Is it, so you shoot like 105? Is that what it is?
No, just 103.
Going to the Final Four to see kind of it all come full circle for you. Is that kind of what you envision when you come to Texas Tech?
Yeah, obviously, as a young player, you don't even know what to expect when you get to this level. You just want to be on a team that has a goal for something, and to get to this point, and the journey has just taught me a lot. It's grown me as a person, as a man, and I'm thankful for the tough times and the great times because it made me who I am today, and I'm thankful for the whole journey. So it's just been a blessing just being here at Texas Tech. So
following up on that, Lawrence, what do you want to do with your life after basketball, whenever this ends?
after basketball, like meaning my career or
Well, what are you studying? What do you want? What do you want
bus-
to be after you leave Tech?
business? Obviously, I want to play, keep playing, but business is my major. Things with business, my family has businesses, helping out with them. My main focus is playing. I love the game, so whenever I'm done, my knees are broken or something like that, and then I'll stop playing.
And for Jarrett, what is the best thing about about having this season in your hometown, and what is the most challenging thing about doing this in your hometown, be it demands on your time or whatever?
I mean, I don't see anything bad about it. I mean, I enjoy every moment of it. Just being from Lubbock, growing up here, so it's a lot of support, a lot of family, friends, teachers, coaches, and it's a lot of support behind it. So, I mean, I'm very thankful to be in the position, and, I mean, just doing something like this and me be able to be a part of something like making the Final Four, making history, winning the Big 12, making history this year, and, I mean, a lot of other things. It means the world to me, and Lubbock's fully support me, and I'm so thankful for it.
What's your recollections maybe of your earliest Tech game or games that you attended? Do you have any memory of when you were like a kid coming to a Texas Tech game?
Yeah, I came to a couple, of course. I wasn't really like coming to a lot of games, and I never saw myself here. And I mean, God just put it. It was His plan for me to be here.
So you didn't see yourself here until when?
Until I started getting recruited by Coach Beard, and then I actually considered it and prayed about it, talked to my family, and I felt like it was the best decision for me.
And after games like Saturday, how many text messages do you get, and how long does it take to reply to everybody?
I mean, a lot, but I mean, I can't reply to everybody. I know they understand and they know I love them and stuff like that, so I know I can't reply to everybody, but I mean, it's a lot.
So talking about those games that you played with your brother, if it was like you and JJ and Trey, who usually had the upper hand?
It was usually Trey. He was just bigger than us, more athletic, faster, stronger. So, I mean, me and JJ, we just had to work to be able to compete with him. And, I mean, it was all fun and games, and it got real competitive at times. But at the end of the day, it made us better, trying to just compete with each other.
And for Davide, what were you feeling when you made the threes on Saturday there late in the game?
Which one? The first one?
The one that like the one that made it 63 to 50. You made one that made it 63 to 58. One that made it 66 to 60. Where you kind
Well,
of
the second one I was really confident because JC actually looked at me first, so he looked at me, so I had to get ready, and I was pretty confident about that because he trusts me, so I had to pay him back. And the first one, the shot clock was running down, so I had to get it off, and I saw the defender was backing up instead of like getting to me, so I had to shot, because it was a shot clock violation.
Now, your family got to see you play this weekend. Since there's obviously a big time difference between here and Italy,
Yeah.
How much are they able to maybe watch you play in real time when they are back home, or or are they able to see any games from back home?
Yeah, not always, especially the non-conference game. They couldn't watch those, but ESPN always has live streaming and all that. So they catch up with the Big 12 conference. Right now, they're coming back for Minneapolis, so they won't have this problem.
Do you communicate with them more by phone or email, or how
Phone.
do you normally talk?
Phone.
How do you normally talk to your family after games?
After games, I usually text my dad because he's always the one that is awake late night, and the next day I try to call them. But usually right after the game, I usually text my parents.
Anything else for the guys? Norris, I saw obviously you tweeted about the tragic Nipsey Hussle news. Did you guys talk about that like as a team and just have any like moments after?
We haven't really talked about it. Obviously, it's a tough moment for both his family and Brandon's family and things like that. So, in respects to him, I don't want to speak about it much. So,
Have you ever been, I guess, had the ball hit out of your hands while you were inbounding it before, a technical foul like that?
Never happened to me before. I didn't know what the call was. Like, I don't know what happens in that situation, but thankfully it's a technical foul. Whoever made the rules, it's a great rule because then Morrow went to the line, made 2 free throws. But no, never happened before.
And then for you, Gonzaga had so much size inside and was able to affect a lot of shots. But for you, it seemed like you used the basket really well. What about it made finishing so smooth and seemingly easy for you, at least on the TV?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I think I got 1 shot blocked, but we watched a lot of tape, and coaches got us prepared and said, these guys are coming. Especially when Clark's in the game, you got to be aware. They compared him to Zaire from last year on Texas Tech's team. So when he was out of the game, they were telling us, hey, Clark's not in the game. You can get to the rim and get to the bucket and finish. But when he is in the game, be careful, pump fake. And, late in the game, I remember specifically one of the clips we watched of a guy going right and kind of had him behind him and went up. And he, volleyball swatted it to the ground. So in my head, in that very moment, I was thinking, okay, either go off 2 feet or finish on the other side, try to trick him a little bit. So then I finished on the other side and used the rim.
And Tariq, obviously the play everyone has been talking about is the block and then the save. Have you ever pulled anything off like that before in high school and at the college level at all?
No, I don't think so. I think that's the first time I've ever done that in that kind of situation. I mean, but it was coming down to it, and I just knew I had to get to the ball. So, yeah.
And then now that's done and dusted and they can't take it away from you, did you realize you were out of bounds?
Yeah, I actually knew I was out of bounds when I saved it. I was conscious of that, but they didn't blow the whistle when I was out, so I just kept playing. Play till you hear the whistle.
And this is for, I guess, both of you guys or all of you guys. So did you watch the Duke-Michigan State game yesterday?
Yes.
You did? Okay. And what about Michigan State do you think could pose like matchup problems for you guys that really stood out to you during that game?
Anybody?
From watching the game, I mean, we just seen that Michigan State is a really good team. I mean, we played Duke earlier this year, and we know how tough of an opponent Duke is. So, just watching that game, we seen how hard Michigan State plays, how tough they are, how hard they hit the glass. I mean, Cassius Winston is he's an All-American. He's a great point guard, great player. So, we just know that they're going to be a tough team. It's going to be a tough matchup. So we just got to, take this week to prepare for a great team.
For Tariq and Matt both, how do you think, what's the most difficult part of coming to a new team and getting what was the most difficult part of coming here, getting your level of play up to speed quickly to be able to accomplish what you've accomplished and to be part of a Final Four team?
I say for me, it's just proving yourself all over again to a new group of guys, your teammates and your coaches. They obviously, recruited us for a reason and saw the tape, but then you have to build up that trust in the coaches and in your teammates, like that you can make certain plays, make certain shots. At South Dakota, I had established myself, and if I took a shot and missed it, coaches, they're like, okay, whatever, we've seen him make it. But then, you got to consistently prove that you can make plays and do things with your new team so that they trust you doing those things in games and stuff like that. So just proving yourself all over again, and then just getting used to like that chemistry, playing with your new guys, and knowing how the coaches want you to play.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Matt. I mean, just coming in and just having to prove yourself, earn everybody's respect, respect of your teammates, respect of your coaching staff on the court, just earn everybody's trust, and then building that chemistry, building those relationships with your team. I mean, thankfully, this team that we have here, it was quite a few new pieces, but, we fit together really well. Everybody gets along. Everybody's, is really caring and loving for each other. So, it's just great fit.
How about learning the system? How much time did that take, and what gave you the most difficulty in that regard?
Yeah, learning the system, completely new system for me, defensively and offensively. Takes a little bit of time. I think the most difficult thing is just with defense, just not letting the ball go middle, trusting your teammates will be there, just being in the right spots. And then they really challenged me just to be better, to get steals, get deflections, stuff like that, to be aggressive on the ball. Just more different from my last team. We were good defensively, but more in the gaps and stuff like that. And then offensively, the motion was new. And the big thing was probably shot selection, just taking good shots and knowing what shot's a good shot.
Well, yeah, for me it was the offense. Motion offense, just learning how to move, read the defense, when to screen, what kind of screens to set, just making those reads. But I had a lot of help, though. Guys like Brandon and Norrance and Andrew, like guys who have been here for years, were able to help me out when we were in practice or we were in summer workouts, and, just give me little pointers at how the offense works. And, so I picked it up pretty well, I feel.
At this time last year, or last March, were either of you guys paying attention to Texas Tech, or had that contact been made yet, that ball started rolling, or did you have any thought on them from an outside point of view at that time?
For me, yeah, I had already, by this time last year, I had already announced that I was going to be looking to transfer. So, and Coach Pinkins was here, so I was not in contact with the school, but I already knew that this was going to be an option because, just because of Coach Pinkins and who he was and our relationship together. So
what were you thinking when you were watching Tech, maybe then in the NCAA tournament last year?
I just watching them, I seen that they played defense and how hard they played, so I knew it was a situation that I would be willing to go to and, work to be a part of.
Brandon, can you talk about your role and how you get ready and prepare to come off the bench and help light the spark plug for this team?
It was never about me. Even though I'm a returner, I never really cared about starting or not. Me and Coach chose basis on that, and he told me that he has a role for me, that I would ended up playing started minutes, and he just wanted me to play defense, heat up in shots, and be the toughest defender out there, guard bigger guys, and things like that. And I agreed to it. To play out of position, to do the little things. It's all about winning for me, and I think that's the main thing for our team this year, that everybody is super unselfish. Guys like Matt and Tyreek, they don't really care about having 20 points and 20 blocks and 30 assists, anything like that. I feel like they came here to win, to make a run in the tournament, and to make history. And I think that's the main thing for this team, that everybody's unselfish.
When you got here, who helped you the most?
My teammates, but coaches like Coach Berg, Coach Darrell, Dora, Casey, guys like that kind of helped me out with the situation. You know, I didn't know anybody here. It was pretty awkward at first, but they helped me get through and helped me get in the right path.
Matt, for you, your dribbling and ball handling has just been something to really watch. Is that something you've been working on since you were X years old, and that is just something you take a lot of pride in?
Yeah, thank you. I think Drake probably disagrees because I turn it over sometimes, but no, I've been. I mean, ever since I was little, we had a basement, and it was concrete, and we had a little hoop up there, and I'd put a headband on, and I always thought I was Allen Iverson. I would go down there and I'd dribble one of those little balls. And then when I was growing up, my dad used to always make me still dribble with the smaller basketball because it's harder to dribble a smaller ball. It's easier to control a bigger one. So I would always do ball handling drills like that. And then I started doing two ball, and I do a little two ball routine before the game, try to get my handle loose. But it's something I've been working on. This staff has really emphasized with me, just being tighter with my game and being tighter with my handle.
Can you juggle?
No, not really.
No. Tariq, can you talk about when Norrance is in the game with you and how that adds to your game and how that helps the team with a presence inside?
It does a lot for our team. I mean, having two bigs out there, it allows me to step out more on the wing, and within our offense, it just allows for, more screens, different kind of screens, I think teams have to adjust and guard us differently when both of us are out there. We have more of a rebounding presence on both ends of the floor. So, I think it boosts our team a lot.
Brandon, what's impressed you the most about Matt and Tariq in their play this year?
How unselfish they are. They wanted to win bad. And, at first it was hard, I will say, for them, maybe for like a week or two. But then since then, I just feel like they took off. And, we could be any happier to have them. They amazing players. They came in with a purpose, and they worked super hard. They great teammates. And, those guys became legends in a year.